Hi there everybody, welcome back to Flames Pyro Art for Beginners and Beyond. Just thought I would dive in today with a little piece I'm working on, which is a wrinkly old lady, a tribal lady, and I've been wood burning this on TikTok, which is one of the main places really you can find me pretty regularly, like wood burning live. Is if you go to my TikTok account, which is at flames_pyro_art, and you will find me there wood burning live most days. This old lady, it sounds like a song, doesn't it? This old lady, I started way back, very early in my pyrography journey, and luckily I hadn't done too much damage to it really, considering my lack of experience at the time. So I thought we'd just have a little look today at a few of the features. I'm starting with the lips. Now with this old lady, she has only got a bottom lip. The top lip is pretty much gone. You just can't see any top lip anymore. There's a tiny little trace of it showing there, but apart from that, it's just skin down there, because it says she's got a weathered face. So when we want to create a lip that is like protruding, so it's more three-dimensional, there's a few simple rules to follow. Basically, we're looking to create like a sort of bridge-like shape, aren't we? So at the bottom of the lip will be our darkest part. Now always flick your strokes in the direction that you want to show, the shapes and the contours and everything that you want the onlooker to see. Now I'm using the spoon shader from the Optima range, and my heat setting is at just over 3, which is like a medium heat for this pen, medium low for the size of the pen tip. So I have full control over the pen at all times. The heat's never getting away from me. I can dab away and just add delicate bits of shading, and I know I'm not going to get a really dark situation that I can't get myself out of. So that is one of the benefits of the burn low and slow method of pyrography, which I teach. So anyway, we'll look at this old lady's lip, so we can see all the mouth. The chin is still yet to be finished. But we want to now make this lip look like it is protruding, like it's three-dimensional. Right in the middle here, she's got quite a large crease that does encroach over to the top part of the lip, because there are two sides to the lip. Obviously we've got the bottom coming up and the top coming down, and in the middle we leave lighter. Remember, when doing human portraits and skin tone, We don't want to be wood burning at ridiculously high heats. It's all about gentle heat and layering up to find those shading tones that we're looking for. So if you've had a go at human portraits and you struggled, perhaps your heat may have been a little high. I'm just going to have to swing the board sideways to get at the top part of the lip. So this top part is now coming out. From what would be the gap between the two lips, but she's got a mouth well and truly closed. So if we add our shading, moving in the direction of the strokes, for the shape we want to show. It's no good if I want to show like a bridge, it's no good me shading upwards or sideways. Always shade in the direction that you're wanting the viewer to see. She hasn't got a massively deep shaded top part of the lip, but it'll start to bring a bit more realism as we search for the shape. Some areas there may be like deeper ruts. You can just add them in for a bit more depth. Okay, let's swing the board back round. Let's focus on the bottom part. So I'm using the pen just on the side here, but I'm still flicking in an upwards motion. It's just I'm utilising the side of the pen. You know, all pens, you can use so much more than just the flat piece of the pen. You know, you can use all sorts of crazy edges and everything as you get more adept and skillful with your pens. You want them really to become an extension of your hand and your creative mind, ideally. And even shading is what pyrography is all about, is blending and balance to the shading. Because what we're trying to do with showing the very dark at the bottom is to show that this lip sticks out. So it may only be, you know, a very thin line at the bottom as the darkest point. We're not talking about going, you know, mega far up. just a millimetre or two. And then in the middle we want to leave like a highlight area. I've just noticed over here on the old lady's lip that this bit joins over as we get near the corners of her mouth. The far side of the lip we also want to shade up. Not so heavily because it's only a very thin area. She has got a little step there. I'm just looking at the reference photo that you can't see. For the point of the exercise, it doesn't really matter. It's just explaining how you create realistic lips. This is my favourite form of pyrography, is doing human portraits. They fascinate me. I just skin tone and stuff is just magical part of pyrography. You know, it's all about delicate shading and lots of detail, lots of shape and contours and ridges, and that's ideally what I'm always searching for with my personal journey with pyrography art. Now she's got a wrinkle that's coming down here, right to this top lip area. And as I said, you can see just the ever so tiniest bit of a top lip there. So we would want to just put a little bit of dark shading, just a touch, just to say there is a drop off. Now on this old lady, she hasn't got a filtrum. She's very old. She's weathered. To me, she looks like she'd come from a tribe. Something, you know, she definitely got weathered skin. These wrinkles that I put in early, I can see why I had gone so dark with them, is they are very deep wrinkles. Now, hopefully you can still see me on the camera. With the wrinkles themselves, we can't just like add black lines here, there and everywhere. You know, every wrinkle has like shading going into the wrinkle and shading coming out. It's only very slight, but as the skin is going into that rut, just blend a tiny little trace of shading of it going in. So you could follow this goes all the way along the top lip. So we'll follow it the whole way. And all we're doing with this is just showing the skin going into the wrinkle. Just like one of them contours, you know, like on the lips. The way the skin's going, it's coming down, dropping into the wrinkle, coming back out the wrinkle. If you look at it in a three-dimensional point of view with your creative eye, you could, you know, you'd be able to see in 3 dimensions. Yeah, you'd see like this bit of shading as it dips into this deep rut, and then there's no light in there, so it's really dark, and then it's coming back out of the darkness and back into the light. Here with this wrinkle here, we will add just a touch of contour, of it dropping in to this deep rut. I won't do the reverse side, otherwise I'll have to flip the board upside down. So we'll work at this side of them. I did try to go live with this little stream this morning. I prefer to wood burn live so I can chat away. I feel like I'm talking to somebody when I would burn live, but for some reason it just wouldn't connect. Don't know why, it's maybe something in my settings. But it just kept saying you were offline, try again. And I'm finding YouTube to become a real bit of a drag, to be honest. It's not the most user-friendly platform for like live streaming wood burning tutorials and the likes. I find the TikTok community and the features so much better and more user-friendly than YouTube. So I'm in a dilemma really at the moment as to whether to continue on with the YouTube journey, because when I would burn on TikTok, the user can be anything from an hour to several hours of wood burning, just depending on the mood I'm in really. I was very lucky. I found the reference photo again in my photo library. Like I said, this was transferred over 2 years or more ago. As I was first looking to try and do a human portrait. I never, even back then, I never learnt my lesson. I always picked the most ridiculously hard subject matter. I mean, instead of just getting a nice smooth, say, baby's face or whatever, I decided to pick an old woman with lots of wrinkles. At least I've been consistent throughout the 3 years I've been wood burning now. I've always picked the hardest subjects. Now the bottom of the nose area, right here, we add a dark piece of shading because the lady has an underneath to her nose, doesn't she? Her nose isn't flat on the board, it's up, it's raised up. So this is how we raise the nose up. So underneath the middle of the nose, there would be some dark shading. As a shadow cast, much like, you know, at the nostrils. Here's a nostrils. You can make a nose any shape you want from the nostrils. I mean, if I carried on going dark higher, I could give her bigger nostrils and a different, completely different nose. But in this case, this old lady has got quite a flat nose. Now, considering we're working around the mouth area, I'll continue on for a few more minutes. The nostrils. Again, nostrils aren't flat. So right here in the corners of the nostrils, we add some dark shading. Because what we want to do is the peak of the nose is going to be the highest point of this whole face. So everything behind the peak of the nose has to be lower. Whether it's even just very light shading, the skin tone mostly is just very light shading. Now I'm just colouring away like this because of the heat setting I'm on. Excuse me. I know I can rub away. Sorry, got a lump in my throat then. I know I can rub away and just gently change the colour of the wood. Still working in the direction that I want to show, but I can do a more scribbling motion because of the heat setting I'm on. can just gently turn the shading of the wood. Okay, then now we look at this important area, which is down the sides of the nose and going into the cheeks. We'll do it on this side because otherwise I'll have to turn the board upside down for that one. Well, actually no, we'll do it on this side because now I've just swung the board round, I can get it easier. Because the cheek is higher and there's a big deep like wrinkle down from the nose, this area is much darker because it's a very deep wrinkle. And it does actually follow all the way down the side of her face there and goes off round to her cheeks. Again, look for any features. Remember, the skin will be going in this direction. It'll be coming down and it'll be coming round, coming along, stepping down a little and round. You know, just see the shape of how the face would be. You know, if you were actually looking at the woman standing in front of you. Then we start to blend that darkness out and pull the shading round in the direction we want to go. Now this nostril here, if I'm going to have to swing the board upside down for a moment, I hadn't set it dark enough because I didn't go upside down yet. There's a famous pencil artist I always refer back to, and his name is Darryl Tank, and he's an amazing pencil artist. And one lesson he was doing on this 5 pencil method on YouTube was, he said, there's a simple rule to creating art. He said, where there is less light, it must go darker. And that rule always stuck with me. And if you follow that rule, you will make some really amazing 3-dimensional art as you look for those darker spots that can set your piece off and give it some real pop. So we're upside down at this point. Want to show this nostril. She's got quite a flat nose. but that'll start giving, to get back to where we were, a bit more depth already to the nostril. Then if we think about noses, there are sides to the nose, you know. I always like to think of things like as walls and structures coming out, so that we know there's like a side bit before it hits the main piece of the nostril. So it has a bottom as well because it's sticking out from the face. So around here, darken up again. Into the nostril itself. There's no light up the nose, is there? So we show the nostril coming out into the light. There's always that little bit of darkness where there is less light. From a face-on view of a human portrait, to shade underneath this tip. It's always darker in the nostril areas, and you can just blend them out a little. It's the same here on this side of it. This gives it just some pop. As we're pushing everything down and different levels at certain points of the face, there's different levels. Don't know why I keep gesturing with my hands when you can't see them. And that is how we begin to show a nose and lips in more 3-dimension. Like I said, you would just refine your shading of the bottom lip. A good tip for you all is every now and again, so you get to a certain point, stop, take a picture with your mobile phone and have a look at the picture, and it'll show you areas where you may need to just improve, or just make them darker. Everything has to try and tell a story with your shading. That's all we're looking to do, is tell a story. Okay, so that's it for today's little look into lips and noses and around the mouth area of human portraits. Like I said, I'll try and go live again one more time on YouTube. I will give it one more go, but otherwise you can find me on TikTok, and it's at @flames_pyro_art. and you'll find me there. Just click follow and it'll notify you then when I go live on TikTok. Okay, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it very much. Have a great day. I hope you got a few little snippets of information and tips out of that. And I will speak to you all again soon. Much love to everybody. Take care for now, guys. Thank you. I'll just show you from a little bit further back of the face where she's at. There we go. Okay, take care for now. Thank you.
Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess. What's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.